Hey guys, what is up and welcome to Road to Rare episode 3. The plan for today's video is to go through our lineups for game week 3, and I've got some pretty juicy lineups, and also to talk to you guys about the plan moving forward with the gallery. So as you can see in the top right hand corner, we currently have a balance of almost £145, and as you can see from my club screen, I've made my first rare purchase. It's probably a bit of a stupid purchase. Danilo's probably going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually move into a rare team. So for £10 for a midfielder that constantly starts for Nottingham Forest, at the time it felt like a good idea. I may sell him on and try and make a small profit from him as he becomes closer back to coming back from injury. But for now, that was the first purchase I ended up with. If you guys follow me over on Twitter, you would have seen that I put a poll up. At the end of last video, I gave you about 9 to 10 options of the first rare pickups, and I then went to Twitter after and decided to choose 4 of them. So those options I gave you guys were Saliba, Garnacho, Eze and Kudus, and the winner was Eze, so that is going to be our first rare pickup. However, as you guys can see from the balance, I still haven't picked up one of these top rare cards. The reason being is because I don't know, one, how long it's going to take me to get to be able to afford a full team, with that being a goalkeeper, a defender, midfielder, a striker, and then one spare player. So I feel like the prices may go down by then. International breaks will be coming in a couple of weeks' time, and I feel like that also will make the prices go down. So I thought I'd make the smart decision and hold off on buying Eze for now. However, I did say that I will be giving away a limited Eze. So if you guys go over to my Twitter and retweet the tweet, give me a follow, and then subscribe and like my YouTube video, you'll be in for the chance to win the limited Eze. And I'll be doing this going forward every week from now on. The winner of the poll, the winner of the rare that we're going to purchase for our first competitive team, I'll be giving away a limited version of that card to hopefully help one of you guys. So guys, moving into my lineups, unlike last week when I shown you all of my lineups, this week I'm just going to show you my favourites. As you can see from the screen right now, I have some pretty random lineups with teams I don't think are going to manage much. Gone into one of my favourite lineups, unfortunately, is Man City versus Ipswich. I'm a massive Ipswich fan and I would love for Ipswich to do something against City, but in this case I would love for this City stack to get me this first place. There's a lot more entrants in this division now, but there's down to 80 rewards. So I feel like with a full City stack, I have a good chance of getting a good reward here. Another team that I have high hopes for is the Arsenal team. I'm not as hopeful as I was last week for them against Wolves. Aston Villa is going to be a really hard game again for them away from home. Last year they struggled to beat them twice. I believe they lost to them. So hopefully this week they can recover some of that performance against Villa and hopefully get me a top 70 finish. Moving down the lineups, you can see we have a Chelsea stack. Not that hopeful for that. We have the classic competitions, which at the moment, with the amount of entrants and the amount of rewards, I really am not getting much enjoyment out of that. But then we move into our best teams, which is my La Liga team. So last week, as you guys saw, I didn't do that great from La Liga. I didn't finish as high as I want. And last minute, Bellingham's been announced as having an injury. So I've put Valverde into this team. I've also switched up the captain from Vinny Jr. to Kylian Mbappe, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who are even going to be captaining the midfielder or Vinny for this team. And with how bad Mbappe did last week, I'm hoping that maybe I can catch everyone off guard, and Mbappe just has one of those games where he gets his first couple of goals for Real Madrid in La Liga. From the rewards, we're already guaranteed a reward, I believe. Top 80 gets $10, and there's only 69 participants. So my main goal here is to not be in the bottom 25% and get relegated this week. Moving into my other teams, I also made another Real Madrid team. So this also had, this didn't have Bellingham in it, but I moved my Valverde that was originally in here into my team 1. And I brought in Modric and I made him captain. So I don't know who's actually going to play instead of Bellingham. It's either going to be Modric or Güler. I have both of them in my team, but I felt like Modric is probably the safer option and he can offer those scores of Toni Kroos. So I made him my captain because if he does play, then I feel like he's a banker to get a good 70, 80 score. Moving down the teams, we have our Atletico Madrid stack, which it's in Division 5. It's probably not going to do much. And then we have our Real Madrid and mixture teams for La Liga for the Classic, which once again, I'm just not that excited about with the amount of entrants. It's the first week back for Bundesliga, so I've got a Bayern Munich team. I haven't looked at the amount of rewards this pays down to, but it's 80 again, the same as the Liga, with 114 entrants. Kimmich, I believe, is going to be one of the best players on Sorare this year again. He's back in midfield. He's not playing right back. So I feel like if he's on set pieces, he's going to be making those tackles in midfield and playing passes through. And I just feel like it gives him more chance to get those assists and maybe even some goals. Got Harry Kane up top and then Musiala. This could be his real, not breakout season because he's been good for a couple of seasons now, but I feel like it's one of those seasons where he can cement himself as one of the top players in the league. Moving into our other in-season Bundesliga teams, I was very conflicted which team I put in Division 2 and which team I put in Division 5. So I've gone for my full Dortmund team in Division 2 with Kobel, Schlotterbeck, Gross, Brandt and Bino Gittens, not Glittens. I'm pretty hopeful for this team. I mean, I've put it in 2 instead of my other mixed team, which is my mixture of Leipzig and Leverkusen. I've got Hradecky, Grimaldo, and then I've got Florian Wirtz in there. And then we've got a Pender with the Xavi Simons that we got out of an Essence box, which I'm pretty happy about. With Captain Xavi Simons, they've got a pretty good game again. I think it's against Bochum. Maybe wrong with that. You guys are probably going to correct me. But I fancy my chances in there. But in Division 5 with 845 entrants, I'm not expecting much. We then have our classic teams. Once again, I'm going with a Bayern stack with Grimaldo, a full Leverkusen stack. Frimpong may not start here, so this may be an absolute mess already. We have the Dortmund with Leipzig this time, as opposed to the Leipzig with Bayern Leverkusen in the in-season. And then we also have our champion in-season teams. So last week in champion in-season, I put a Spurs stack and a Liverpool stack. They both got me a cash reward. I think I got $10, $20 from each of them. I've put the Spurs stack in there again, home to Everton. You fancy them getting a clean sheet. I can't imagine it's going to be a high-scoring game. And then I've also gone with the Liverpool part stack in Division 1 with Becker, Trent and Salah as the top scorers from last week. I fancied putting them in there again, hoping they'd be the top scorers again. And I've took McAllister and Van Dijk out of this team and replaced them with Bruno and Bruno. Double Bruno in there. We've got Guimaraes and Fernandes. Both of them have pretty good fixtures. United against Brighton. You never know how that's going to go because Brighton one week will turn up, the next week they'll be absolutely shocking. And then we've got Newcastle against Bournemouth. Guimaraes should control the midfield there and also get some decisives if he can play some good balls forward. We then have in our in-season a completely random team that I'm quite hopeful for, which is Ter Stegen and Koundé in defence. And then we've got Paqueta, McAllister and Yamal. We then move into our classic teams, once again pretty random with the AC Milan boys. We've got Mbappe, Van Dijk and Brandt. There's literally no cohesion between these teams. They are all just completely random. There may be 1 or 2 players from the same club. But that is my lineups for this game week. So my hopes for this game week are hopefully to achieve about that £150 mark again to push us up to 300. An optimal game week with my lineup and my gallery would be about £200, £250. And if that is the case, I may actually make my first rare purchase of it being a goalkeeper and scrap the Eze altogether. But that will depend on how this weekend goes. I want to say again, guys, thank you for the support, the likes, the comments, and just the engagement on Twitter. It's been pretty awesome at the moment for my first couple of YouTube videos. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to head over to my Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.